My car developed a problem where the driver's side window would get stuck in the down position. It turns out that the driver's side window switch was defective. This video is about changing that switch. The door panel will have to be removed. Start by removing this plastic cover in the bottom of this pocket. Seen in this picture is a plastic cover with a pry point and a hinge point. Pry gently at the pry point with a small screwdriver or a pick, as shown in this picture, to remove the cover. Under this cover are two screws. They must be removed. There's another plastic cover that must be removed. It's behind the door latch handle. Behind this cover you will find another screw that must be removed. This plastic cover has a pry point and a hinge point. Apply a small screwdriver or a pick at the pry point and then hinge this cover out of the way. Remove the screw shown in the photo. Use a Torx T20 tool to remove the screw. Shown here is the Torx T20 tool being used to remove the screw. Next up for removal is the plastic cover that covers the mirror mount and the mirror wiring. Here's a photo of the plastic cover. Notice that it has a curved side and a straight side. I will use these terms when I'm referring to removing the cover later. I used a plastic trim panel tool on the left and a small to medium straight blade screwdriver on the right to remove the cover. Start by pulling the plastic cover out just a little bit by hand. Do not force it. At this point you may be able to see the metal spring clip that holds the cover to the window frame. Here is a close-up shot of that spring clip. Apply pressure to the spring tab to release the straight side of the cover. Seen here in this photo is the curved side of the cover with the other side of the spring clip. Here is a close-up view of the spring clip on the curved side. With the spring clip still captured in the window frame, you'll have to apply gentle pressure at the yellow arrow shown here to release the spring clip. Here's a short video that shows how a small screwdriver was used to apply pressure to the middle finger of the spring clip to release it. Here's a backside view of the cover and the spring clip. The spring clip is the upper item and the lower item is the plastic alignment tab. Seen here is the door frame where the plastic cover was located. The spring clip fits into the vertical upper slot and the plastic alignment tab fits into the lower horizontal slot. I use these two trim panel removal tools to separate the plastic door panel from the metal door frame. The plastic door panel is held in place by a style of fastener I'd call a Christmas tree fastener. The metal trim panel tool has a 45-degree angle on the head, and that's exactly what I needed for this job. I use the plastic trim panel tool to protect the paint finish on the metal frame of the door. It's hard to see, but I slid the metal trim panel tool piece between the plastic door panel and the door frame, and then I sandwiched the plastic trim panel tool under the metal tool to protect the paint finish. In this shot I'm prying up the first fastener. This photo shows the back of the door panel. There are 10 of these plastic fasteners around the perimeter or edge of the door panel. They all have to be pried loose before the plastic panel can be removed from the metal door frame. Be gentle so as not to destroy a fastener or to crack the plastic door panel. Once I got the first one or two fasteners removed with the trim panel tools, I was able just to put my fingers in between the plastic door panel and the metal door frame and just pull gently and remove the rest of the fasteners. After all of the fasteners have been removed by popping them out of their holes in the metal door frame, the plastic door panel sits or has a lip on the top of it, and that sits by gravity in a ledge or trough on the top of the metal door frame. Before you can completely separate the plastic door panel from the metal door, there are 4 other items that must be disconnected. There's an L-shaped attachment pin in the upper left-hand side of the photo. It's annotated in red on the photo. The green line going to this red L-shaped attachment pin is the door latch cable. There are also 3 wiring harnesses that must be removed. One of them is connected to the mirror controller, and 2 of them are connected to the window switch. The metal L-shaped attachment pin, shown in red in the photo, is held in place by a plastic yellow locking collar. To remove this L-shaped attachment pin, push down on the tab on the yellow locking collar. After you've gently pushed down on the tab of the locking collar, rotate the L-shaped attachment pin approximately 180 degrees and just slide it down and out of the collar. This will release the door latch cable from the plastic door panel. Next, the electrical connectors must be removed from the mirror controller and the window switch module. I don't remember exactly how I did this. It's been a few months ago, but there's some sort of captive mechanism that holds these connectors in place. Don't just yank them out because you'll break something. I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I used a screwdriver or my thumb to release this captive mechanism to gently pull the connectors free of their locations. And it wasn't too complicated because I had to hold the door panel in one hand and do the releasing with the other hand. And it seemed, from what I remember, it was just fairly straightforward. I mean, don't use force so you don't break anything, but it's fairly straightforward to remove these connectors. So with these 3 connectors removed from the mirror controller and the window switch, the plastic door panel and its lip can be lifted up and completely separated from the metal door. Shown here is the window door switch, and the red circles show these little captive plastic points that hold the switch into the door panel. Or locking tabs rather. I used a screwdriver at these yellow pry points shown here to pry enough space to release the bezel that holds the window switch out of the door panel. Again, I was very gentle here. Be gentle so you don't crack the plastic. Here is another angle with the locking tabs. You can see the locking tab there in the foreground, basically the middle of the photo. And the pry points are there on either side of it. Also in the front of this bezel is the mirror controller. That little yellow connector, yellowish connector on the right hand side of the photo. There's a metal spring clip here that you may have to apply a little bit of pressure to. That is to get the bezel holder to release from the door panel. Here is the switch located upside down on my kitchen countertop. Here in the foreground of the photo is the mirror controller, and I did not change that. Again, another view of the switch on my kitchen counter. There are locking tabs that hold the switch into the bezel. And I gently pried at these pry points to release these locking tabs and separate the switch from the little bezel. Here is a side view again showing the 3 locking tabs and also showing the pry points. I used this plastic trim panel tool and gently pried close to the pry points to separate the switch from this little plastic bezel. The plastic pry bar tool is just another tool in the trim panel removal tool kit. You can see here it's about 8 inches long. It's pretty skinny. It's probably got about a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch wide blade style tip. I did buy a brand new door window switch. Here's the old one and the new one. Here's a view of the switches with the old on top and the new on bottom. The new part seen here in the photo has a part number 04602780AD, Alpha Delta. The old part ended in AA, or Alpha Alpha. And the parts guy told me that the AD is a more recent revision. So hopefully it's a more robust part. Congratulations if you got this far. To put in the new switch and to reattach the door panel to the door with the wiring harness and the attachment pin is very straightforward. The hard part was getting everything apart. Putting everything back together was very simple. So I didn't take pictures of putting it back together. If you just reverse the steps that I've shown here to take everything apart, everything will go back together very easily. So for example, the wiring harness connectors will just click, snap into place. And the little L-shaped attachment pin, you just put the pin back into the little hole and turn it like 180 degrees. And you click it back under the tab and it locks in place. Then you just set the plastic lip of the door panel back into the trough or the ledge or the channel, however you want to think about it, at the top of the metal door frame. Make sure the Christmas tree plastic fasteners are aligned with their corresponding holes in the metal door frame. Then just push gently on the plastic door panel and the Christmas tree fasteners will seat in their holes and the door panel will be held firmly in place. As far as the plastic cover that goes on over the mirror wiring and the mirror mounting point, just push that back into those little slots shown earlier in the photos and it will just click into place and you're done. Thanks for watching. No, you're not done. There's 3 screws that have to be put back into place. There's the 3 Torx T20 screws. One is in that door handle pocket on the door panel, or 2 of them are there, and so put them back in. Don't over tighten them, don't under tighten them, and then put the plastic cover, hinge that plastic cover back into place. And then there's a single screw behind the door latch handle. Tighten that screw into place and then put back the plastic cover. And now you're done. Thanks for watching.